Hi and welcome to the second part of indices. So by the end of this lesson, we should be able to demonstrate the second law of indices. So let's jump right on in. So the second law of indices states that when we're dividing two numbers of the same base, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the indices. So let's have an example of this. So say we have 4 raised to the power of 8 divided by 4 raised to the power of 5. What we can do is we can say that it's going to be 4 and we're going to subtract the indices here. So we're going to have an index of 3. Let's have a second example. We've got 10 raised to the power of 20, huge number, and we're going to divide this by 10 to the power of 9. A quick way of doing this would be using the second law of indices. We're going to have 10 and we're going to have that raised to the power of 11. Alright. X raised to the power of 7 divided by x raised to the power of 5. It's going to be x to the power of 7 minus 5, which is x squared. Y to the power of 4 divided by y to the power of 5. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a negative index. This is fine. We're going to come to this later on, but just use the laws and trust that you've got the right answer. Okay, we have x to the power of 4 divided by y squared. What would you say this is? Would you say that it's x, y to the power of 4 minus 2? No, remember, this law only works if we have the same base. We have a base of x here and we have a base of y here. So we can't actually use this second law of indices, and we can change this into a fraction, so we could say x 4 over y squared, but we cannot use the second law of indices because the bases have to be the same for this to work. Okay, so as a final example, let's try this. We've got x squared times y to the power of 4 divided by xy squared. And we're going to use the second law of indices here. What we can see is we can rewrite this term here. Look at this. We've got an x here. Remember, this is x raised to the power of 1. So what we can do is we can actually write the power here. And what we're going to do is we can see that this is going to be x squared divided by x to the power of 1 times y to the power of 4 divided by y squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the indices of the relevant bases. So here we're subtracting the indices of the x terms and we're subtracting the indices of the y terms. And what we get is x to the power of 1 times y squared. And this is just the same, but remember, because x to the power of 1, usually we just drop the 1 and keep it as x. So we can call it x y squared, just like that. So there's quite a lot to digest in that last example, especially when you've got a fraction and you're dividing, you've got multiple terms that you're dividing. So follow this through carefully, do worked examples on this, and hopefully it should become second nature to you.